Nerds Rising gonna respect the potential rock slide. The opponent then pivots out into Cottony, and here's the moment we've all been waiting for. High Cottony, bye Cottony, get absolutely wrecked. Welcome back to the channel. We have an incredible battle submission from one of the best up-and-coming content creators on the YouTube platform. Huge shout out to Nerds Rising. If you don't know about Nerds Rising, where the hell have you been? Go check him out. He's linked above. He's repping a full triple shadow anti-meta team in the Little Jungle Cup. Little Jungle Cup does absolutely dreadful. No one watches it. So if you are a fan of my channel, it would help me out massively if you go smash that like button. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we see the very annoying charmer known as Cottony. We've got two poison types. In the back, we say switch into Golbat. The opponent answers with another basic bitch meta Pokemon in the form of Girafarig. However, Nerds Rising is running Bite, so the key to this matchup is tap your screen, bite, 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 all the way, and we're going to take back switch. The opponent makes one final charge move, but Golbat doesn't care. We bite, 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 bite all the way down. Despite us being down 2 shields, alignment is going to be key. The opponent send out Swinub. We make a Poison Fang for the road. Does the opponent know the bite counts? Evidently they're not. They commit a poor shield. We send out the Giraffe. Back out comes Cottony. And just like that, it's going to be high Cottony, bye Cottony. Get absolutely wrecked. Back out comes the Swinub. Swinub gonna have to respect the Exeter. Exeter forces the final protect shield. The opponent can't overfarm all that much. They throw a charge move. Beedrill will get taken out. However, back out comes the Giraffe with 2 double kicks away from the Psychic Fangs, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. I have a funny feeling, just like the battles Ty submitted, these are going to go very, very quickly. So buckle up and get ready for the emotional roller coaster. In the next battle, we see that bear trap in the lead. The double kicks are super effective, and in this format do quite a lot of damage. The opponent only goes for muddy water, and despite the Giraffe having no HP whatsoever, Nerds Rising is not shielding that. We then throw one double kick and the Psychic Fang for optimal fast move timing. Gfisk is now in a range where he can one shield and farm all the way down. We see the instant shield deployed from Nerds Rising. We get the double kick farm down. Nerds Rising looking to pivot into Golbat. Let's see what the opponent has out. They bring out Ducklet, pivot out into Chinchou. Chinchou might be hitting us for super effective, but my god, look at the bite damage. The opponent fires off the bubble beam. Shadow Golbat shrugs it off, makes the Poison Fang. Poison Fang should be forcing the first protect shield off the opponent, which it does. Golbat gets spark farmed all the way down. Nerds Rising waits out his full timer. He's going to send back up the Giraffe. We throw one double kick and the Psychic Fangs. Nerds Rising already legend, and that's because his gameplay mechanics are beautiful. Psychic Fang secures the knockout. Back out comes the annoying duck. We go for one more Psychic Fangs. The opponent doesn't commit that shield. We come into Beedrill. We're going to be able to shield once. Poison Jab farm all the way down. And in case you're wondering, Beedrill is a Ducklet counter confirmed. You heard it here first. The Poison Jab's just far too oppressive. Moving on to the next one. We lead our Shadow Girafarig into Chinchou. Evidently the opponent also not a fan of that really annoying common duck. Nerds Rising farms up, strikes first with the Psychic Fang. Psychic Fang goes on shield and lands for heavy neutral damage. The opponent throws immediately, allowing us a free double kick. Nerds Rising tanks the bubble beam, pivots out into Golbat. The opponent simul swaps into execute. We're hitting them for super effective with the bite, 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 bite damage. However, the opponent's stab confusions knock us out. The opponent now has a charge move banked. We send back out the Giraffe. The opponent throws immediately, so we sneak the double kick. The opponent throws the Ancient Power. The double kick knocks them out. What does the opponent want to bring back out? The opponent waiting out their timer. They send out Cottony and Trainer. This game, before you know it, is over. We throw the Psychic Fang. The opponent shows no respect. Beedrill going to delete them in the blink of an eye. Get absolutely wrecked. Back out comes Cottony, and this trainer can save 2 shields for next season. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we lead Shadow Girafarig into, of course, the Duck. What else do people run? Nerds Rising going to stay in, farm up, fire off the Psychic Fang immediately, looking to force that debuff effect. Psychic Fang lands for heavy neutral damage. We pivot out into Golbat. The opponent throws a charge move at worst. This is an aerial ass, but of course it's just a bubble beam. The opponent now send out Steelix. The bites have been debuffed, but my god, they're still chunking. The opponent farms us all the way down. Things might not look fantastic, but Nerds Rising is running an ABB team, and the idea of the team is to use Golbat to bait out something that our Beedrill closer doesn't want to see, which is exactly what he does. We shield up a potential crunch. The opponent, of course, baits with a Psychic Fang. Nerds Rising then throws the next Psychic Fang on the CMP tie. The opponent lets it go. bring back out Ducklet. The win con at this stage would be them having Cottony in the back. However, it's probably double steal. We shield up the bubble beam. Show me a Cottony, please. Of course, it's double steal. There's no win con, and Nerds Rising is going to concede the match. Sometimes even goated battlers like Nerds Rising just have no win con. In the next battle, we see the bear trap, this time in the lead, and this is exactly where we want to see it. Nerds Rising farms up, throws the Psychic Fang. Psychic Fang doesn't command any respect, and rightfully so, as it is resisted. Nerds Rising gonna respect the potential rock side. The opponent is a masturbator. They throw the muddy water. However, they don't make another charge move. We double kick farm all the way down and leave with residual energy. Good to go. The opponent sends out Ducklet. We go straight for the Psychic Fang. The opponent says, I'm not shielding that. You're not at a Thunderbolt. However, Nerds Rising doesn't care. He throws the next Psychic Fang on the CMP tie. The opponent shows no respect, and I already know what's in the back. This is going to be Cottony. How do I know that? Because this is the most basic bitch meta team of them all. There's the Cottony. We show him the Beedrill, and the opponent instantly concedes. Let's fucking go. BBML meta put to the sword. So the moral of the story is using PvPoke's #1 ranked BBML team isn't going to always get you wins. The draft into the Baby Balloon, aka Drifloon. A pretty neutral matchup. We're hitting them for double resisted with our double kicks. My god, I get so tongue twisted when I try and say the word double too often. We single resist the hexes due to our psychic normal typing we respect. The Icy Wind pivot out into Golbat. The opponent sends out the bear trap. Unfortunately, as we only have one protect shield, 2 behind Nerds Rising can't win this matchup by straight tapping his phone. Tap, 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 or bite, bite, bite all the way. He recognises that. Lets his Golbat go down. We come back into Girafarig, shield up the rock side. We are going to be able to double kick farm now all the way down. We've got a huge running start on energy. The opponent waiting out their full timer. Are they core broken by this Giraffe? Yes, they are. They send out Vigoroth. Again, great fast move timing. One double kick and the Psychic Fang. It lands for huge damage. We look to snipe with Beedrill. The opponent just about pivot out with a charge move banked for the road. We send out Beedrill. The opponent shields up the X's. The opponent is resisting the poison jabs. However, they're going to be forced to throw. The opponent throws the Icy Wind. Win con has been found. Nerds Rising needs to farm up to the back-to-back charge moves. If this Psychic Fang is lethal, which it is, Nerds Rising is going to pull off a very impressive dub. The Psychic Fang is locked, it's loaded, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. I absolutely love shoutcasting Nerds Rising. He's always so calm, so calculated, and he always sees his win cons. In the next battle, we see what I believe to be Pikachu Libre. I say what I believe to be because I shoutcast these on my phone using Filmmaker. If you try and make content on your phone, you'll know exactly what I mean, as that Pokemon was absolutely minuscule and I'm old and my eyesight evidently isn't all that good. The opponent say switches into the bear trap. They throw a charge move at terrible timing, allowing Nerds Rising to shield once farm all the way down. Back out comes a Pikachu. In fact, it is a Libre. Don't worry guys, I'll put getting a pair of glasses on my wish list along with a laptop. However, as I live in the UK, cost of living is ridiculous and I just about afford to eat some dinner. The opponent shielded twice. We pivot out into our Beedrill. The opponent banks a boatload of energy. Switch out into Swinub. We fire off the X-Scissor. X-Scissor isn't lethal. Nerds Rising gonna save his one protect shield for his backline. Icy Wind secures the knockout. This Swinub is so low. One double kick, probably enough to knock out, as in this format, Pokemon have no HP. We get the double kick farm down, back out, come Pikachu Libre. Nerds Rising, gonna allow his Giraffe to go down, saving one shield for his Zubat. Typing advantage with the opponent, but we tap, 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 or bite, 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 as I like to say in the shoutcast all the way to yet another dub. In the next battle, we lead our Shadow Giraffe into yet another duck. Nerds Rising, evidently bored of all this BBML he's seeing, plugs in his AirPod, gets himself a nice big playlist. He likes to listen to stuff like Rise Against and Offspring, so he most certainly isn't bored, despite seeing the same thing over and over. His huge cojones call the bubble beam bait. We survive on 1 HP and a dream return fire with the Psychic Fang, forcing a protect shield in a matchup where our typing wasn't all that advantageous. However, in this roller coaster that is GBL, fortunes have changed. We found ourselves now in a very advantageous matchup. The opponent answers our Beedrill safe switch with a dub while using double kick, where the double kicks are double resisted. Holy smokes, again, a lot of the use of the word double. However, Nerds Rising, 2 shields, poison jab farms all the way down. Beedrill has residual energy, good to go. Back out comes Ducklet, and Nerds Rising's counting absolutely on point. We throw the X-Scissor on the charge move priority event. The opponent's final Pokemon is Vigoroth. we attempt to catch a charge move onto Zubat for no reason whatsoever other than to show him we've got a bite Pokemon in the back. The opponent unable to double resisted, counter us down, and we take that game. In the next battle, we lead Shadow Giraffe into Shadow Swinub. This is a great matchup, Shadow and Shadow Crime. The opponent tanks a double kick, instantly regret it, and then pivot out into Vigoroth. So perhaps the regret is even worse now as the opponent tanks the Psychic Fang. They get near one shot, we snipe with Beedrill back out. Comes Swinub, they do resist the poison jabs. However, you've seen throughout the video, nothing really is resisted. What the heck is going on? We're getting loads of frame drops. Niantic, fix your fucking game. About time I bashed Niantic. It's been a few videos. The X-Scissor does register. The opponent takes us out with a body slam back out. Comes Giraffe. We snipe with a double kick, and the opponent's final Pokemon is Scorpy or Scroopy, Baby Drapion, aka the channel mascot. However, the opponent is now down a shield. We come into Zubat. It's going to be a very easy tap, tap, tap all the way to finish. Nerds Rising calls the bait the first time, anticipating the opponent fishing for the boost, and that's exactly what they do. Nerds Rising now correctly shields up the Aqua Tail. We still have one Protect Shield, 2 hide behind. The opponent going to make one final charge move. However, Zubat far too oppressive and going to fast move tap, tap, beat down all the way to the finish. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we lead Girafarig into the Pancake. So for clarity, if Stunfisk is Unnovan, it's the Pancake. If it's the Galarian, it's known as the Bear Trap. Speaking of which, if you'd like to know some other fun facts, I actually made this video and called Zubat Golbat so many times, I've actually give up trying to edit it. So feel free to roast me in the comment section. Now we're getting back into the commentary. Nerds Rising makes a savage catch, catching the Mud Bomb onto Golbat. I've called it the right thing there. God, I'm good. What an absolute savage. The opponent now answers our Shadow Golbat save switch with their own Shadow Golbat. The Spice is life. Nerds Rising very happy to see Golbat on the playing field here, as we most certainly don't want to see this with our Beedrill. We throw one double kick and the Psychic Fang. Psychic Fang goes shielded. Uh-oh, Nerds Rising makes the next Psychic Fang. Come on, trainer, let it go. You know you want to let it go. The opponent choosing to shield this up. We send out Beedrill. Beedrill in a whole heap of trouble. We're probably going to get baited with a Poison Fang, which we do. The Poison Jab registers, takes him out. I thought we needed a miracle to win this battle. Ask and you shall receive. High Lantern, Bi Lantern, get absolutely wrecked. And one Poison Jab is enough to take out Stunfisk, and we take that game. In the next battle, we see the Dream Lead. Shadow Girafarig into Swinub. The opponent is staying in, so Nerds Rising going to outpace to the Psychic Fang. Psychic Fang will be knocking out or forcing a shield. The opponent shield, bank a body slam for the road and send out Ducklet. We're going to fire off yet another Psychic Fang. Is the opponent willing to shield? No, they're not. That chip damage is very advantageous. We come into Golbat, look for the full bite farm down. Nerds Rising, calling the opponent is going to masturbate, and they do. Nerds Rising tank that on the chin like an absolute champ. How do you walk around with them huge balls? The opponent makes one more Bubble Beam. Nerds Rising commits to the full bite farm down. Back out comes Swinub. They do get the Powder Snow farm down. However, as we've got shield advantage after waiting out our timer, Nerds Rising can send back in the Girafarig. The double kick does go through. However, Nerds Rising not willing to shield the low health Giraffe. He's putting all his hopes and dreams on the back of Beedrill. Beedrill going to be able to shield once. Resisted Poison Jab farm all the way down. The opponent recognising they're going to get farmed down. Send out Cottony. This is the Razor Leaf variant of Cottony, but Beedrill doesn't give a flying fuck about what quick move that Cottony's on. It's just going to be a tasty little snack. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, you guessed it, another opponent trying to ride their duck all the way to legend. Nerds Rising out here looking to gatekeep. We throw the Psychic Fang, pivot out into Beedrill. The opponent at the Brave Bird. Nerds Rising says, I absolute dare you. And the opponent says, challenge accepted. We get one shot return to our Pokeball and things are looking rough. We send back out the Giraffe. The opponent resets their debuff. Save switching into Vigoroth. We fire off the Psychic Fangs. The opponent with 2 Protect Shields, 2 hide beyond. Commit that shield, then commit to the full counter farm down. It's now all on Golbat. Golbat comes in, gonna shield once, commit to the tap tap bite farm all the way down. And the opponent's final Pokemon is Scrafty. If we're running Wing Attack, it might be playable. However, on Bite, it absolutely isn't. And Nerds Rising says, good luck to you, sir, on your legend run. Moving on to the next one. Great lead, Girafarig into Swinub. We see the immediate save switch into the Pancake, the Unnovan variant of Stunfisk. We farm up, fire off the Psychic Fangs. The opponent shows no respect, and that lands for heavy neutral damage. Nerds Rising, please stop being a savage. Once again, we catch the Mud Bomb onto Golbat. Golbat looks for the bite farm down. The opponent makes one final Mud Bomb. We see the instant no shield from Nerds. We then commit to the bite farm down. Golbat, is he an over Stunfisk counter? Confirmed. You heard it here first. Back out comes Swinub. They get the Powder Snow farm down. Switch timers are misaligned. Nerds rising, waits out his full clock, sends back up the Giraffe. The opponent takes full advantage of the misaligned switch timers, sending out Vigoroth. We fire off the Psychic Fang. Where's our switch timer? There it pops. Nerds rising, saves his Giraffe, pivots out into Beedrill. We shield up the body slam. Can we poison jab farm down before they make another? Yes, we can. Beedrill, far too oppressive. Back out comes Swinub. The opponent gonna fire off the body slam. However, Beedrill only 2 poison jabs away from the back-to-back. The opponent isn't out of move. Even if they was, they'd lose CMP. The first X-Scissor draws the final Protect Shield, and the second one is gonna be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Shadow Beedrill is one of my favourite Pokemon in the Open Great League, and Nerds rising out here, putting it to work to some great success in the Little Jungle Cup. In the next battle, we see Scorpion in the lead. The double kicks are double resisted, however the Psychic Fang will hit for super effective. Nerds rising, tanks the cross poison. The opponent then switch out into Dunsparce, looking to catch the Psychic Fang. Nerds rising, fires off the Psychic Fang. We throw one more double kick, getting this Dragonfly down to around 30% HP, and that is going to be very advantageous as both our back 2 Pokemon are weak to rock. Nerds rising, gonna have to respect the rock side. Beedrill, as always, aggressively poison jab farms down. Nerds rising finds himself down a Protect Shield, however with switch advantage. The opponent's final Pokemon is Unova Stunfisk. Nerds rising fires off the X-Scissor bait on the CMP type. X-Scissor draws a Protect Shield. Things not looking fantastic. Nerds rising commits his final Protect Shield. The opponent full sends the discharge, then pivot out into Scorpy. Nerds rising doesn't fire off his charge move. Can we survive an Aqua Tail? Yes, we can. We then pivot out into Golbat. Golbat going to be able to tank a charge move. Bite farm all the way down. Aqua Tail does reasonable damage. However, Golbat looks for the bite farm down, and we get it. Back out comes Stunfisk. We need to reach the Shadow Ball. We do reach the Shadow Ball. This is either going to knock out or force the final Protect Shield. The opponent chooses to let it go, and just like that, from a really tricky spot, Nerds rising pulls off a huge dub. Moving on to the next one. Girafarig into Vigoroth. Not the best matchup, not the worst matchup. We are going to outpace to the Psychic Fangs, as we only take 9 turns to our first charge move, and the opponent takes 10. We draw a Protect Shield, then pivot out into Golbat. Look at the bite damage go. Nerds rising, going to shield up the body slam. If the opponent doesn't pivot, they're going to get farmed down. The opponent recognises that. Pivot out into Stunfisk. The pesky Bear Trap outpaces us to the Rock Slide. Rock Slide vanquishes us back to our Pokeball. We're in the 1-to-1 shield. Nerds rising, waiting out his clock. We send back in the Giraffe. Girafarig gonna get outpaced, and we're gonna see the last Protect Shield deployed. The opponent did throw on alignment, so we should be able to get the double kick farm down. We do get the double kick farm down, but we're on minimal HP. The opponent's Vigoroth now nothing more than a sacrificial swap. They send out their third, which is Tropius. Psychic Fang gonna land for neutral damage. We pivot out into Beedrill. Look at the poison jab damage. They pivot out into Vigoroth. That gets poison jab farm down. Back out comes Tropius, and Beedrill has a very tasty snack and cleans up in a very quick time. Moving on to the next one. We find a real Spice Lord out here running something I've never seen before. Just kidding, they're running the Bear Trap. Nerds rising, fires off the Psychic Fang. The opponent lets it go. They then throw an alignment. Nerds rising says, thank you very much. We can now one shield farm all the way down. The opponent recognizing that, pivot out into Cottony, and you, sir, can get absolutely wrecked. Beedrill completely deletes them in the blink of an eye. The opponent's final Pokemon is Altaria. Is this the Open Great League? No, it isn't. So X-Scissor, despite being resisted, gonna land for decent resisted damage. The opponent shielded the first, they let go of the second, and that is gonna be game over, as the oppressive Shadow Golbat is now gonna come in, shield the Sky Attack, and it's gonna be a tap-tap, bite-bite, farm all the way to the finish. Altaria gets deleted, back out comes Stunfisk, and that meets the same fate. GG's, and thanks for playing. Another very, very quick game. In the next battle, we see another Pikachu Libre. I can actually see this one, which is quite surprising, as it's like 2 AM when I'm shoutcasting this. However, getting back into the commentary, we farm up, fire off the Psychic Fang, drawing a Protect Shield. Pikachu Libre continuing to overfarm. Again, the opponent throws an alignment. Nerds Rising shields up the flying press, but then pivot out into Golbat. It's going to be high Pikachu by Pikachu. The opponent gets deleted before they can react. And then we see some real spice enter the battlefield. The opponent running Shadow Houndour. You love to see it. However, sorry trainer, your spice isn't going to fare too well. Nerds Rising can shield once. The double kick has registered and whatever's in the back is about to get debuffed. The opponent running yet another Shadow. Huge shout out to this opponent, but Marshtomp not going to appreciate the Psychic Fang. The opponent didn't shield the first. Recognising the second is going to do more damage. However, they're on minimal HP and they gracefully concede the match. In the next battle, we Shadow Girafarig into Cottony. Not fantastic. Nerds Rising going to pivot into Golbat. This opponent actually running Razor Leaf, not Charm. However, either way, Beedrill chomping at the bit to get his hands on that Cottony. Golbat going to oblige, looking to play out the 2 shield with this Bear Trap. We shield up the Rock Slide. Return Fire with the Poison Fang. The opponent looking to maintain alignment. Shield up the Poison Fang, but Bites now tearing through the opponent. Nerds Rising shields again. The opponent fires off the Muddy Water Bait. Do they make another charge move? No, they don't. Golbat has took back switch. The opponent unable to come back into Cottony, so they show their third. A Pokemon I'd usually call Licky, far too thicky in the Great League. However, it's Licky, not all that thicky when we're in the Little Cup. The Bites have torn them apart. They're already deep in the red. The opponent didn't respect the Poison Fang, and that's going to be all she wrote. We come into the Giraffe. The opponent pivot out into Cottony, and just like that, they recognise the game's over and concede the match. Huge shout out to Nerds Rising. I absolutely hate Little Cup, I'll be honest. However, it's always a pleasure to shoutcast your gameplay. You always bring in some incredibly fun, spicy Pokemon, and your gameplay is immaculate from start to finish. So if you made it to this point in the video, I'd really appreciate you smashing that like button. As I'll be honest, whenever I upload a Little Cup, I get hardly any views and it just harms the rest of my content getting sent out to a wider audience. However, when you get top tier content from a quality content creator like Nerds, make sure you go check him out. It's always worth a shoutcast. If you enjoy my content, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, link to battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.